Hi everybody, so I am going to show you now my completed journal for 2021, my completed Christmas journal in its finished state. Now it isn't finished in the sort of the way I thought it was going to be finished. Compared to previous years, I feel like there's things that are unfinished, but I've decided it's finished because it's actually now the end of January and I've got lots of other things I need to do and I've got to crack on with. And there's kind of reasons why things weren't finished in here basically, but it is assembled. I've got the cover on. I decorated the cover. I have re-sewn all my signatures into the spine, which I'll explain a little bit as we go along. And it's going to go on the shelf like this basically. So I did a really chunky one this year again. And in hindsight, I didn't need to make one this big because actually over Christmas we didn't really do all that much and I didn't have that many photos and I didn't do that much documenting. So there's basically a whole lot of unused space in here. I pretty much only journaled in about a fifth of this, and even then I didn't even write that much, to be honest. So there's pages and pages and pages which don't have any photos, they don't have any journaling, they just have like decorations and paper ephemera and stuff stuck in, which in itself was enjoyable. But it has made me think about next year in terms of what I'm going to do. I'm probably not going to do anything quite so large next year. I'm probably going to go pretty small scale next year because there was just nothing to put in here basically. It was enjoyable to make, but it didn't need to be this big basically. So yeah, I'm going to show you a flip through now. But before I do that, I just want to show you some footage that I took while I was finishing this off. It took me about 2 days to finish it off from its state that I'd left it in on, I think it was about the 6th of December was the last time I did it. So it's been well over, I haven't touched it for like a month and a half. I certainly didn't touch it throughout the rest of December after the 6th. Just life getting in the way, and my husband actually did manage to come over in the end. But I guess maybe because my son's a little bit older, so we didn't do that many things, or I was a bit more tired this year, but we didn't really do all that much Christmassy stuff. So yeah, as I said, I didn't really get much journaling done at the time. But I did have this Raskog trolley, which I would filled with all the bits and bobs that I wanted to use, that I was planning to use, all the ephemera that I collected, all the ephemera that I'd made. And it was sitting there in my Raskog trolley, and I was like, well, I need to finish the project before I can clear the whole thing out. So I thought I just better get cracking. So I did my usual sort of technique, which is to start from large to small. So I went through everything I had and I picked out all the pieces that were large, so large collage sheets, large elements. I'd made quite a few like envelopes and bits and bobs previously, so I pulled all those out, anything large, and I filled up all the pages with all the large things first. And yeah, that just kind of working from that system, starting with large things and ending up with small, just kind of, it makes it easier for me to tackle because it felt like quite a big project. I had 5 inserts that I'd bound together as like sort of traveler's notebook inserts that I was planning to work through. And yeah, the idea of getting all of that ephemera into these like inserts, these signatures was a bit overwhelming at the beginning, but I figured if I start from large, do all the large pieces, then do all the medium pieces, and then work my way down to like the actual photos, and then finally would be like small stickers and accents. It made it easier to tackle. And another thing I did was I rotated all of the notebooks. So I had 5 signatures, and I just kept them on a stack on my desk. And I would just work my way through the pages of one, I'd grab the next one, and work my way through those pages. And it meant that I could sort of go on even spread throughout all of the signatures with all the different elements. So all the large elements went in all 5 signatures, etc., all the way down to the small ones. And then once I'd finished them, once I'd got all the large bits down, the medium bits down, small bits, I stuck my photos in. Now, I'd been collecting photos in this little it's an album, and it is from Midori, the brand, the stationery brand Midori. I don't know the exact name. If anybody's interested, I can put it down below. But I found this, I had this ages ago. I got it quite cheaply, actually. It was reduced in a local stationery shop. And I stuck date stickers on all of the pockets. So it's got lots of little pockets inside. And as I went through December, or whenever it was that I was printing up my photos, I stuck the photos and the date stickers into the relevant pockets for each day. So that meant that when I came to put the actual bits into my pages, I just went to that date, that envelope, and took the pieces out. So yeah, that was quite a good way of organising things. I'm not sure if I'll do that next time, but it was quite fun to do. So yeah, once I got to that stage when I was actually putting my photos and my sort of date stickers down, I just did a sort of an even spread, and I used these like little door tabs from one of the advent calendars I had, and so to do an even spread across the 5 signatures, I just sort of roughly divided the 31 days of December into 5 and made a note on the front of each of the signatures about which days would go in which signature. And then I stapled the little doors from that advent calendar along the top, just as a sort of bit like tabs, I suppose, just so that I could get the month evenly spread through all the 5 signatures. And then once that was done, I popped all my photos in and then just finished off by applying all the little mini stickers and things. So yeah, it was a fairly easy process, to be honest. I did feel a bit overwhelmed by the whole thing, but I thought, well, there's no point doing it if I'm not enjoying it. But I did want to actually finish the project so that I could shelve it with everything else. So I just did it. I cracked on with it, and it's now complete. So I can show you a flip through now. Now I have photos in here, personal photos, and I also have photos of other people's children, as I'm not comfortable sharing the pictures necessarily. So those will all be covered up, but I'll show you what I can show you. Yeah, so as I said, there's 5 signatures, and because they were originally they were bound separately originally. Then when I came to put them into here, it was a case of punching the holes in the spine and then actually taking the signatures, like cutting the threads on the signatures that were separate and re-sewing them into here in the correct order. So they've all been re-sewn into the spine now. So the first signature is the one I actually started properly doing journaling on. So sorry, it's probably not very pleasant to look at with the paper stuck on, but I'm just not so comfortable showing photos as such. But yeah, it's just a nice mixture of all the different papers and things I'd collected, things like my designs, and there's designs from other people in here as well. Yeah, so I'll just give you a quick flip through. There's not all that much to say about it, really. I mean, I've shown you in previous videos all the ephemera that I was using and how I was using it and things like that. Yeah, so it's just a case of me whacking them all down, and this is what I've ended up with. So these pages are clipped together because there's pictures from my son's school inside. This page I'm using some printables from Erin Ware. I did treat myself to some printables this year, these Christmas trees and the stars and things. So they've gone in here. And my son wanted to have, I had a go at drawing Erin's logo actually on a random piece of paper. So I stuck that one in because I thought that was quite cute, the way he'd drawn the chair. So you'll see as we go on that there's no journaling, there's no photos on a lot of these pages. It is just, it's almost like a glue book really. I just stuck random things in, and it's a shame because like I've done some really, I've done some journaling cards and loads and loads of pockets and things. But I just find that I don't have anything to say. Like, I don't know, I feel like I just like to enjoy Christmas, and I don't particularly like journaling about it, which sounds really crazy because I love journals and I love notebooks. But I just find that I don't know, I don't want to have to write down what we did each day. I write down what we do each day in a different format. So then to write out again in here, it seems like I'm sort of doubling up the work. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm going to go with this. As I said, next year, I'm not going to be doing like a junk journal like this. It's going to be something smaller scale if I do one. Everything will be very different next year anyway for us as a family. So because we're moving back to the UK. So yeah, I'm just going to have to see how things go really. But yeah, it's just enjoyable to sit and stick stickers down and scraps and washi tape and, play with my colour scheme and things like that. It's just an enjoyable thing to do really. But yeah, it does seem a bit odd that I have all these pockets with like journal cards in. But I don't care. Like, I don't feel bad about it. I feel, to be honest, I don't feel bad about like not doing a journal the way, it's supposed to be done with all the journaling and things. I suppose I do feel a little bit like, God, I had a lot of stuff, and I feel a little bit not wasteful exactly, but I suppose I started off thinking, oh, I don't have any ephemera, I don't have this, I don't have that, I need to make some, I need to gather some. And then before I knew, I ended up with probably more than I actually needed, which is a good lesson going forward, because yeah, I just need to chill a bit, I guess. Like, I don't need to have like this much stuff. But I could see this as I could see this as an art journal. I could see this as just, yes, what do they call them? Glue books, just like an old-fashioned version of scrapbooks where you just stick things in that you like. Because I do like it, and I did enjoy it. I do like these vintage pictures, and I enjoyed doing the gold paint on here. And it's nice to put my own drawings in and things like that. This was actually from the Christmas freebie that I did. So if you haven't found that and downloaded it, it's still available at the time of me filming this video. I will put the link down below. You just have to go to the Patreon website. I don't think you need to sign in or register or anything. I don't think you do. If you do, let me know, because the whole point of me putting it on there was that it was easily accessible to everybody. But if it like asks you to create a Patreon account or anything like that, that's not really very good. So do let me know. But yeah, it is like a completely free printable. You don't have to sign up to my Patreon to get that one. But yeah, I'll put the link down below. Have I got pages stuck together? No. So yeah, it just continues in this theme, really. Like, pages and pages go by, and then every now and then there'll be like some photos. But for now, it really is just ephemera, just stuck in like a scrapbook sort of thing. So like, for example, this is on the 10th. I've got my date sticker for the 10th. I've got my son's advent calendar tab. That's my advent calendar tab. And I've got a journal card in a pocket, but no photos. And I have no recollection of what we did that day. So that's just how it is, really. Some more photos in here, so I'm just going to skip those pages. I don't mind these photos because they're quite small. So this is like kind of how some of the pages look. I just stuck the photos down. There's no journaling or anything like that, because I mean, looking at that, I can remember what we did that day. That's kind of enough for me. It just sets the book in time, really. Like, when I look through this book, I'm like, oh yeah, that was the year when my son was this age, and we did these things. But so I suppose it's not really a memory keeping exercise as such. It's just, I don't know, a creative Christmas journal thing. This was, we got into this habit of waking up in the morning and leaving all the lights off except for the Christmas tree, and sitting in the dark and having breakfast in the dark at one point. I don't know why we were doing that. We just did it for fun. I think it was nice to watch the sun come up or something. That's another of the stickers on my freebie sheet. I mean, this is just a paper pocket that I made. I don't have anything to put in it, so I just put this print that I got off Pinterest of a vintage cocktail thing. Didn't make any of the cocktails or drink them, but it was sort of part of my research for this year, part of my inspiration, so I popped it in. My colour scheme here, picture of my granny that my mum sent me, having her Christmas meal, or a Christmas meal. This was like my vision board, not my vision board, my sort of like inspiration board for this year, things that I was liking and enjoying. This photo amused me. My son doing his homework, and he's just like had enough, so he just got his head on the desk, bless him. He got it all done in the end, but he wasn't feeling the homework that evening. But I thought it was quite cute. This is a packet from the coffee that I bought this year. I treated myself to some seasonal coffee, and it's quite nice because now my journal is scented. It's really, really nice. My son actually came up at one point while I was working on this and said, oh, it smells like marshmallows in here, because it's vanilla flavoured coffee. So it's quite nice because now, even I've cleaned it out. I cleaned it out properly with like dish soap and water, but it still retains the smell, which is actually really nice. So I have a scented journal, which is good. This is a card my mum sent. She said, it's not Christmassy, but I thought you'd like the colours, and I do. I do like those colours, and it actually matches in here, so that's gone in. More pockets with journal cards with nothing written on them. I feel like maybe I should have just not used this. I should have just made all the pages, and then like I could have had it for next year or something, but never mind. But actually, I wouldn't want to do that, because I think even though I'm not writing down like the memories in here, like I'm not writing today we blah blah blah. Just looking at it and looking at the papers I used, like this paint splattered paper that I made and these printables that I did for Etsy and things. It's kind of that's enough to place it in time for me. So when I then come back to look through this album in the future, it will spark memories without actually having them, specifically written out, sort of thing. Just seeing all the things that I was using and working with. Another one of my illustrations here. The majority of this is actually illustrations by me, collages by me, things like that. There are some pages pulled from sticker books and vintage books and vintage things from Pinterest. But this is like one of the few pieces of ephemera, which is just a label from a mulled wine that I had. I thought this was a really sweet idea. Somebody sent me this in some Happy Mail ages ago. I never used it, but I kept it, so it was really cute. But I thought, isn't that a nice element to have on a page? It's a little, sort of like a mini notebook on a page. It was very sweet, and it matched. So obviously I haven't written anything in it. But it looks nice there, I think. So there's a Christmas card a friend's son sent from the UK, which was really lovely. He sent it to my son. It says Merry Catmas, and he's drawn some cats in the shape of a Christmas tree, so that's gone in. We enjoyed opening that. It was really nice to receive something. Some of these elements are actually from quite a while ago, from I think maybe 3 years ago, and I was just sort of using up my stash, really. Because one of the things about obviously moving back to the UK for a while is that I don't want to leave tons and tons of stuff behind me. I don't want to leave like a trail of paper stash everywhere I go. So I was sort of trying to sort of use everything up as much as I could this year. I'm taking a very small stash of Christmassy things with me, but very, very tiny. So I'm thinking, obviously, next year I'm not going to do anything this large scale, I don't think. I'll let you know. I mean, I don't know if I'll do, I probably won't be doing like a junk journal series next year. I'm thinking about changing it up, because I've done these junk journal series for several years now, and they're really fun, and I enjoy doing them. But I feel like it's kind of time for a fresh start, a new change. I might do something different. I'm not exactly sure what, but yeah, I'll let you know. Some of these pages I just really like. I just like looking at the things that I've chosen and where I've put them, and the sort of the mixture of the colours, and I don't know. I really like this one. This was a vintage botanical book page, and then I've got my spattered washi sticker sheet here, some vintage images, my images. I don't know, I just quite like the balance of it and the colours and things. It's just interesting to look at, really. This one I made a pocket out of two tea bag envelopes that I had, and put a journal card in. This is my favourite sticker from my Christmas freebie, with the cats looking out the window, waiting for somebody, the postman or something. So this is getting on to actually Christmas Day here, so the 25th. I really like doing the tabs, these tabs, like from your advent calendar. I don't know, I've been doing that for quite a few years now, using the tabs as, using the advent calendar doors as tabs, and I think it's quite fun. I do enjoy doing that. Something my son did at school for their Christmas efforts. It's a picture of my husband doing a jigsaw. In there. Some photos my mum sent me of my granny and her husband, my stepdad, on Christmas Day, which was nice to see. Hopefully we'll be all together next year, so that'll be good. A note, another friend's son sent a lovely little parcel and a beautifully handwritten message to my son, which was really cute. Thank you. More Christmas cards. I stuck most of the Christmas cards we received in this year. Oh, that's the photo of us having our Christmas lunch. Yeah. Oh, my mother-in-law randomly decided to get a puppy after Christmas without any warning. So this puppy just arrived at our house, which obviously is fine. She's very sweet. She's huge now compared to this. but that was what happened on the 26th. So again, I didn't need to write down. I didn't need to write down like this is the day she arrived because it's clear from the photos. That's there. More empty space. This is actually a pocket, so you could put stuff in. I mean, I suppose I may come across things like that I've forgotten about, and I can just pop them in the envelopes later on. And that's it. So day 28, 29 on here, and then 13, 31, I didn't have anything, but I just stuck the stickers in because otherwise they just go in the bin. So I just stuck them on. There's a little drawing my son did in there, popped at the back, and that's it. So that is my Christmas journal, and it was enjoyable. I feel like I was just a bit overambitious this year, and it didn't quite, in the end, it didn't quite suit the Christmas that we had. We didn't have a bad Christmas. It was just a very low-key Christmas, and therefore a lot of this is just, it's just like playing junk journal, playing with paper. It wasn't actually really recording anything we did in particular. But it was still enjoyable to do, and I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot about supplies and things that I enjoy using. I really like the technique that I had of having the signatures separate and then re-sewing them in, because I do like to have my signatures sewn in. But at the same time, it was much easier to work on them when they were loose. So they weren't actually in this cover when I was working on them. This kind of woven cover was really fun. So yeah, there's loads of things I learned from it, and I don't regret, I don't feel like I failed or anything like that. I don't think you need to sort of measure yourself and your projects in terms of success or failure. You just enjoy doing them, and I did enjoy doing it. And but I will be doing something different next year, I think. I'm not sure what, but I will let you know. And in the meantime, I'm going to get cracking with all of my non-seasonal creative projects. So let me know what you think. Let me know how yours went. Let me know how you feel about when you don't do things the way you expect. I hope you're the same as me and you really don't care, and it's absolutely fine whatever you do. But yeah, I think probably if you're really intent on being very sort of journaly about it and writing down the memories and the photos, it can sort of perhaps become more of a pressure. Whereas for me, I'm just like, I don't know, I suppose I'm a bit more freestyle. I just think do it if you're enjoying it, and if you're not enjoying, don't do it really. Just have fun. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and this will be obviously the final video in this series, and I will be back for another one next year, but it'll probably be completely different. At least I hope to be back, but we'll have to see how things go. Thank you for watching. Bye.